Hi, everybody. Just give us a moment to get Dr. El Hawari with us here. All right.
Yeah,
So,
hello.
Dr. El Hawari, you might have to fiddle a little bit with your camera.
Is it good or
You're sideways, so we'll have to turn you the
okay?
other way. There we go.
Maybe.
Much better.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for joining. Let me do a little introduction. For those of the colleagues watching, we have Dr. El Hawari with us today. He actually does a lot of volunteer work for applicants, which is one of the biggest reasons that I wanted him to come talk to you guys today. He has a background in research at Mayo Clinic, and then after that, he was able to match in internal medicine in New York, Mount Sinai. I will let him tell you more about it. But also with that, Dr. Al-Hawari had really competitive number of interviews. So his tips are something that are very useful. He also ran a WhatsApp group last year for all the internal medicine applicants that was extremely helpful. So with that background, I'll go ahead and give it to you. If you could tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll ask you guided questions throughout the hour. But if you would please tell us a little bit about yourself and what was your journey to US residency like?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me today for this meeting. So I'll talk in conclusion. Like I don't enter deep in the usefully and everything. Just I am talking today about the interview preparation because now we are in the time of the interviews. So now I am currently a resident in Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai in New York. And regarding the interviews, in general or in the beginning, most of the applicant, I can say, have scores. Most of the applicant did research. Most of the applicant have US clinical experience. So now is the time to test your communication skills. Now it is the time to see if you are mentally stable or not during the interview. Because without the interview, anyone can treat the patient, but not everyone can deal with the patient. Not everyone can talk to the patient fluently in English. So that is why they created the idea behind the interview for all the applicants. So in general, try in the interview to communicate well with the program directors, with the associate program directors, with the current residents, and this will make you like be higher during the rank order. So maybe you can get low scores, but because of your interview skills very good, you can be ranked higher and you can match easily. So that is why you can find a resident with low score and match, and a resident with high score and also match, and the reverse also. Like you can find resident was 260 plus and he didn't match, maybe because of the interviews. Because if you are 260 plus and you get maybe 10 interviews and at the end of the day you didn't match, that means your interview skills has a problem. Because you are in paper, maybe good, because you got the interview already. So if you did not good in the interview, you have to practice more. You have to do with your friends smoke interviews. You have to every day speak English with others, with all people behind you, so or beside you. So at the end of the day, you will be good. So also, I have one advice for all the applicants, because some applicants, after getting 8 or 10 interviews, become okay. So I matched. So in the interview, they don't do well. That is wrong. You have to do well in every interview, and in each interview you got, because you can match with one interview and you can't match with 10 interviews. No one know who will match and who won't match. Also, during the interview, you have to show interest. Don't like hold the phone and play in the phone or talk on the phone with others. Even some interviews, like you can be with the program director in the morning and they say to you like after 2 hours we will contact you for the interview. During those 2 hours, if you open the camera in front of them, don't use the phone and don't appear like you are not interested. No. If the camera open in front of you, you have to listen to everything with the coordinator. You have to talk with everybody present in front of you, even with the residents that will do interviews with you. So if there is like a break or something, if you open the camera, try to show interest. But if you like going to restroom or something, okay, at this point you can close the camera and go outside and do whatever you want. But just during the time you are talking to them, try to show 100% you are interested in them. Also, during the interview or before the interview, try to arrange the setting. Like if there's lights, try to increase the lights beside you. The camera should be in front of your eyes. If you will ask them at the end of the interview some questions, try to put or write the questions in sticky notes. So after the interview, you have to ask them some questions and some interesting questions. And to be honest, this step is very, very, very important because if you ask good questions, that means you read a lot about the program. That means you are very interested in them. Like some of the interviews, I was asking about the international rotations, like you're going outside of US to do some rotations. And if I reach to this point, that means I read all the program page and I reach to even the tiny details present in the page. So when the program director told me, like, from where you know that? I told her, yeah, because it present in the page. So try before the interview to study well the program, to know every details present in the programs, to read everything. So if you ask smart questions, that means you read a lot about them. That means you are interested in them. So as I said before the interview, in small papers, try to write your smart questions. Try to write the things that you may forget. Like you can forget if I ask you what is your weak point. Sometimes some people forget a lot. So try to write this in smart or short points and put it behind the camera so you can just put or look in front of the camera, but the questions written already on the wall behind it. So during also the interview, some common questions. Let's say like we started now the interview, and I ask you like, okay, tell me about yourself. So if I ask you, tell me about yourself, you can say like, okay, I am Ahmed Al Hawari. I graduated from this. I did that. I did that. Okay, he already before the interview know that you are good. He knows that you did research. He knows that you are graduated from Egypt. Okay, he know everything, but he telling you, tell me about yourself, who you are. Like I can say like, okay, I'm the person that learn from other experiences. I'm the person that coming from Egypt to know well and return back to teach other, whatever. Tell something about yourself. Tell something about your character. Tell something about your hobbies because during the residency, like I'm working today like 12 hours. After those 12 hours, you will go home to sleep or to do some food or something. So the whole day is tough and it is very hard, this residency here. So he want to know what is your hobbies because if you don't have hobbies, you will be good bored during residency. You'll get exhausted. You want to continue even working, like you will be tired. So try to tell about your personality, who you are. So one of my answers to this question, I was saying like I am a person that can learn from others, and you can find in me a lot of experience. Like I'm reading maybe like 50 experience, 15 experience, 20 experience, and I can take the best thing in every experience. So you can find in me a lot of experiences. So that is why I'll be good in your program because I'm bringing to you 20 persons in one person. Maybe like the smart answer. I was saying this, but you can take it from me. But I mean like try to be creative and try to create something about yourself. After I'm saying that, most of them was looking at me. Okay. So we can learn that. Yeah, tell me about yourself, who you are. So after that, I was saying, okay, I did research, I did this, I did that, but at least try to attract his attention, like try to make him look at you, because sometimes the program director or something, he's busy, he looking at your CV, he didn't even read your CV. So try to make him look at me. Don't look at the papers because the papers, you have the papers already. You can look at the papers after the interview. Second thing, he can ask you like why you choose medicine. Most of people say, okay, I choose medicine because My grandfather was died, my this was ill, whatever. So try to create maybe a new answer for this because all people wanted to try to help others. If you can like create a new answer, and I'm not saying you must create a new answer. No, you can do with your friends mock interviews, and I did about like maybe 20 or 30 interviews. I was doing with my friends. I was trying to find people from different countries. So they will answer me this question, very smart answers for this. So I was just writing what they are saying. And if someone said something good, I was taking this in paper and I'm saying this in my interview. Don't say to him like I got your answers, I took from your answers, but just I'm saying like, doing a lot of mock interviews makes you get very smart answers from smart people so you can take benefit from them. And also at the same time, when you practice with them, you can give them also your smart answers, whatever. Like it will be like a exchange. Also at
Okay.
the same time, yeah, at the same time, why internal medicine? So why internal medicine? I was saying like, okay, because it is puzzle, because I try to think, internal medicine teach me how to think. I don't like hand skills. I like to be more thinking, more working in puzzles. Internal medicine exposes me to the whole parts of the body. Internal medicine makes me work in nephrology, cardiology, GI, all the specialties in the body. So all of this makes me a very good doctor. After that, like if he look at my CV, he will like find me like interested more in gastroenterology, whatever. Like try to be generalized because you are applying for internal medicine, not applying for subspecialty. So at the end of the day, try to make him say that you want us. Also, they will ask about your strengths, your weakness. Your strengths is easy because everyone will say very good things about themselves. But your weakness, that is the point that most of people like suffer because if I say something wrong about myself, that means make my chances low. And in this point, you have to be very smart because sometimes if you say something wrong about yourself, maybe no one will like you because yeah, it is good to be honest, but also good to be smart. Like I was saying, like, okay, I'm detail oriented. I am oriented to all the details, and this makes me takes a lot of time to finish my task. But at the end of the day, I'm finishing it very well. So it is good and bad. So whatever, but at least you fill the spot. He asked you a question, okay, I answered you. So he won't find you bad, and also you are very honest with him. And this thing I find myself also, it is present in me because I was working in research, I was trying to focus well in details, and sometimes it took for me a lot of time to finish the task. Okay, so it is, I was being honest with them. Sometimes they ask you like, okay, so tell me why I should choose you. Um, if they asked you this question, try not to make other friends like low. Don't say like, okay, because I got high scores. Okay, a lot of people got high scores. Why should I choose you? You can say to him like, okay, because I have home country work. Okay, all people have home country work, or most of us like old grad or something. So that is not special. Maybe like if you have very extensive research, okay, say I have very extensive research. I have a lot of citations, whatever. If you have tutoring, because not all people have tutoring. Like not all people can have the ability to teach to give lectures or something. So try to say the thing that present in you, not present in others. Like if you are matching, for example, I'm Arabian, okay. So if I match in Michigan, there's a lot of Arabs. I can say, okay, I'm speaking Arabic. One of the interviews I got, okay, I'm speaking Arabic. How many applicants in you speak Arabic in the area has a lot of Arab population? So if you are matched in Indian population, a lot of, okay, I'm speaking the language that I can work as interpreter and as a doctor. No, not all applicants can work in this. So try, I mean, like to say something present in you, not present in others. And also don't try to say something present in a lot of people, because if you say I have good scores, I can say half of the applicants have good scores. So that is something not specific to you. One of the most important questions also about a disagreement with your mentor or coworker. So in disagreement, because it happens a lot in the residence, and I started residence and find it every day, like a lot of the BGY1 was BGY2, BGY2 was BGY3, the BGY3 was the attending. Every time disagreement will happen, even with the doctor and the nurse and the nurse and the all people can disagree with each other. So they want to find someone, show to be modest. Don't say I am always right. Don't say I am always wrong. Just say if I did something wrong, first of I can apologize, and after that I can acknowledge why I did this wrong. After that I can't or I shouldn't repeat this again. Very simple answer, and try to uh, the I can say like the word is very easy to say, okay, I apologize if I did something wrong. No, don't say that. Just try to continue and say, okay, and this happens to me while I was working like in Egypt. Yeah, some disagreement happened to me and the resident, and so try to tell a story about that. Because telling the story, like people can remember the story, but they can't remember the words. Okay, I can tell you, okay, if I did something wrong, I apologize. That is good. But tell me a story that happened to you before that approve or say that if you did something wrong, you will apologize. So try to say a story from your home country work. If you are fresh grad and you didn't work in your home country, you can say disagreement happened between you and your mentor during medical school, whatever. Like I mean, like try to create a story. After that, if he say disagreement between you and your mentor, don't say like, okay, the disagreement happened because I did mistake and I harmed the patient. That is, even if this happened, I know, like, not everything you should tell. Okay, tell communication. He told me to do something, but I forgot. Don't say something that result in harm to any patient because that is no one have or people have zero tolerance to accept these things. Also, because sometimes about medical mistakes, you can say, okay, I did or I give the medication wrong to patient. That is a mistake you did, and everyone can do that. But I mean, like, don't expose yourself if no one asks about that. They don't want you to tell that, so don't say that. Just tell, and the problems from the communication skills, I can say it is very common and happens a lot. Also, they will ask you like why you choose our program, why you apply to our program. Very important questions, and the program director and the coordinator and everyone will ask you, okay, why you want to come to us. So in this point, a lot of people say, okay, because I have friends, because I have family, because the program has clinical education well, because the program has research well. Okay, like we all have families, we all have friends in these areas. Easy to see that, but try to find something present in website. No one reached to it. No one, like, I told in Hennepin program, I got interview in Hennepin. So I told them, okay, because you have international rotations. So she told me, I told her like, even like, how can I go to outside of US and do that? And I'm on visa. I entered even in the details. She started to talk. So this proves that you know well about the program. And on other programs, I was saying like, I choose this program because the program like very supportive in research, and I can say that because I read publication for you. You said that 1, 2, 3, 4. So not even you didn't even search the program, but you searched the publications that the program director did. That means you are very interested that they will like you. After you say like, okay, I like your publications, that say, okay, so that means you like my publication. Okay, so you like me, so let's bring him here. That is obviously so. I mean, like, don't even search the program on the website, but search the doctors that you will do with them interview. Like if I do with 1, 2, 3, 4 interviews, and before the interview by one day, they will tell you like, okay, tomorrow you will do the interview with Doctor A, Doctor B. Okay, so before that you have to read. Okay, Doctor A, he did the residency in this program. He did the fellowship in this program. Doctor A, he did research in this. He did research. He did this. So during the interview, tell him, okay, I like the publications that you did in 2017, and you said 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can say like I'm interested in gastroenterology, and you are doing research in gastroenterology. So if I come to your program, I can collaborate with you. I have some ideas to provide. You know, these things you will like. That means you are know a lot about the program, and not only the program, but you know even what is the achievement the program directors did during their life. Like you can say to program director, okay, so you did your residency in this area in New York, for example. Can you tell me more how is life in New York? So he told like, from where you know that I did residency in New York? So all of these things If you say, they will like you because people like others to talk about themselves. Also, if the program like don't offer research, and I have a lot of research before, don't say like, okay, I want to come to your program because I want to do research. Okay, because they will say, okay, you want to do research and we don't have research. Why should we bring someone who will say to us, okay, that is bad choice. I don't find any support in research. So try to look how many publications come from the program. In the conferences, the program, there is representation to the program in the conferences or not. Like if you match at Mayo Clinic, okay, Mayo Clinic present in every conferences, Mount Sinai present in every place. So those programs have research. But if you match it in a program, community program or something, or you want to have interview in programs that don't have research, don't say like, okay, so I want to come to you because good research, because already they are weak in research. But you can say like, I'm coming to your program because there is good education. And especially if a community program or very small program, you can say to them, okay, because usually the community programs, they allow you to practice more. They allow you to have like hand-on more, like to have procedures more, because unlike the very big programs, like, the procedures will be after long time of experience. So you can say like, because there is autonomy, I can reach well very fast. I can do the procedures that the BGY3 in other program do. I can do it in BGY1 because they will allow me to do, because the program leadership listen to the resident, takes the feedback, because it's a small program, so they want to grow more, so they allow the small people to talk, to the BGY1 to talk on these things. Also, they may ask you about your, before that, also if the program don't have fellowships, don't say, okay, so I'm planning to do fellowship. You can say, like, if they ask you, what is your future goal? And for someone like me, I am interested in GI, so for sure, if anyone read my CV, he will say, okay, this guy going to GI. But they will ask me like, or they was asking me, you are going to GI, right? I think, okay, mostly I like to go to GI, but till now I am between either I continue as a hospitalist or going to GI. That is in the programs that don't offer fellowship. But if the program offer fellowship, for sure I'm saying, okay, I'm going to GIs. But if they don't offer fellowship, I'm saying, okay, I'll think about that, because I have to try every specialties. I have to try nephro and GI and cardio and all the specialties. And after that, I can decide. I can't decide anything without trying by myself. These are, I can say, like a smart answer to a question that you don't want to say, like, I'm going to fellowship, and at the same time, you don't want to also to lie. I don't want to say, I don't go to fellowship. No, you can be in between.
Okay, those are very, very good points. Thank you so much for sharing all of this. We want to make sure that we have some time to answer some of the
Okay,
directed questions that we have in the chat.
sure.
So we'll go ahead and get started with those questions.
Okay.
At any point, if there's something else that you would like to share, please go ahead and just,
Sure.
go ahead and
No
throw it.
problem. I can say, yeah, tell me the questions first, because maybe the question more important, yeah, people can say.
You're honestly, Dr. Alhawar, all this information that you grouped together in like a few time, like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I'm sure it took you at least, what, 6 months to gather
Yeah.
all of this information. So it was just rapid fire interview skills. So thank you
Thank you.
for sharing all of that. And any more tips, you just let us know. But I want to make sure all of our colleagues who are listening, they get their questions answered as much as possible.
Yeah,
Because we
sure.
do usually cap our sessions at 1 hour.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so we'll go ahead and get started
Yeah,
with the
yeah. Tell me
questions. We already have a
the
few
question.
lined up. The first one is this question. They said someone is not as comfortable with starting a conversation, especially in an interview setting. So how can you make the interview more conversational?
Okay, this happens to me in one of the interviews. What happened exactly? I started, the program director was looking on my CV, about 30 minutes, 30 seconds, no one talk. I am silent, he's silent. I don't know, he's busy or something. So what I said, okay, tell me about yourself. Who are you? Nothing else. He looked at me, oh, so you want me to tell you about yourself? Okay, I'll tell you. So he started to say, okay, I graduated from this. After that, he liked me a lot. Like he started to, like I told him that by a joke. Like, okay, I smiled. Then, can you tell me about yourself? Nothing else. Like he started to laugh. After that, he told me, okay, we will reverse this conversation. So he started to tell about himself, what he did. And after that, he told me, because you asked me, tell me about yourself, I, I, I'll keep you asking. Tell me what you want to ask. The whole interview like this. I was asking and he was replying, nothing else. Like he told me, tell me what do you like about his program and everything. So I was asking him some questions about his program and he was answering me. I mean, like, don't sometimes the program directors want to do that like intentionally just to know what should you do or what you do. Okay, so try to start the conversation. Can you tell me, please, about yourself? With a smiling. So he wants to take it serious, so he will laugh at you. And the conversation was the start. I mean, like, because I talk about 30 seconds and no one talk. I want to start. It is my time. I have to explain myself. So this happens to me in one of the interviews, and it passed. So yeah, you can do that.
Okay, that's actually a really good idea. In fact, the my program where I matched, same thing happened. My interviewer was busy with something, so I was just staring at a screen for a good
Start,
10
yeah,
minutes.
start to talk. Yeah, like I told him, okay, tell me about yourself. So then he can start talking.
Yeah,
Whatever. Like he will answer me. After that, I answer him.
very, very good idea. So what you're essentially saying is confidence is very important
Yeah.
for these. Even though we might be inside, we'll be very jittery and nervous, and I would have my jitters,
Yes.
but you still have to go in with a very
Sometimes
confident face.
they intentionally do that with you to see if you become nervous, if you become irritated or something. So they want to see what you will do if you become nervous. So, okay, I am not nervous at all. Okay, tell me about yourself. Nothing else.
Hmm. A very good point. So I have a very interesting question for you. We were trying to find the answer to this last cycle, so I'll see if you found the answer yet. How do we know if the programs will potentially rank us high? Will they give any subtle hints?
To be honest, I don't trust.
Yes.
I don't trust anything because some of the programs are saying to me like, you are very fit to our program, you are the best for our program, and at the end of the day, a lot of applicants don't match there. That means they choose another people. Uh, I can say most of the programs try to be nice with the applicants, try to give hope to the applicants. That is why most of the programs say, okay, we will rank you high. They don't say it exactly. They say you are very fit to our program. Once he says that, that doesn't mean you will match there, to be honest. Okay, you are good. You did good. That means you did good and they will rank you. But this doesn't mean you will rank it higher or not. Rank higher or not, I think it depends on maybe during the rank order list, some replies to you or some applicants, if you sent a letter of interest in February or something, and they reply to you like, we'll rank you high or something, sometimes they tell the truth. Sometimes they tell the truth. But as I'm saying, don't trust a lot unless you have someone inside, like from the people that already take the decision and tell you, okay, we rank you. That means, okay, you are you're matched. But during the interview, all people say you are good, and I'm saying I'm very interested in you. And at the end of the day, I didn't match there, and they don't rank me or whatever. So no, that doesn't mean anything.
So, yes, I think that was my experience as well. So on that note, when it comes time to do your submit your rank order list, did you send your program a letter of intent telling them that you
I
will be considering
did.
them?
I did.
Okay.
I did to my programs that I matched in. I did. I said I'm very interested, and I'm ranking you first. That is important because if you rank you them first, okay, tell. Uh, because if you don't tell, maybe some programs, like or some program, not all programs, some programs say if he ranked me high, I rank him high.
Mhm.
So try if you will rank them high and be honest with this. If you rank them high, okay, say I ranked you high, and maybe this will help.
It's very true. For those of us who don't understand what this is, or you're going to apply next year, when you apply through ERAS. You apply to programs through ERAS, you get your interviews through that. NRMP is the software that helps you match. You have to register for that separately. And once you've interviewed, mostly at the end of February, you have to start submitting your rank order list. If you got 10 interviews, you're going to rank every single program. So 10 positions fill up. You submit your list. Programs submit their list. For instance, my friend's program, they ranked 13 candidates for 10 spots because 3 people might not rank them high. And then the software tries to match the programs with the applicants. So if you haven't registered with NRMP, make sure you do that. That's an important part of the process.
Yeah,
Also, you
that
did
is
not rank a program you did not interview at. That's sometimes a misconception.
yeah, that is totally correct.
And then on this note, we also had did you send thank you letter to each interviewer?
I did. I did. In one, I did. Even the coordinator, I was sending to the coordinator, thank you. But in thank you letter, also try to make sure that you are saying the details that happened in the interview itself. Like sometimes I'm talking with the coordinator and she is telling me like, okay, there is a places to visit here and there. There's a restaurant here and there. So try to catch all of this in a paper during she's talking or something. Try to know or to remember, even memorize the places. So you can say to her in thank you letter, not don't say like thank you and stop. No, say thank you for letting me know the restaurant is present beside the hospital. I'd like it to come and eat in this restaurant because that means it's very good. So try to show that you are very, very interested in the program by indirect way that you like to go there because there is other things to do besides the work. Because, okay, all people will go to work. No one will want to go to work. Everyone will go to the hospital, but not everyone will go to hiking. Not everyone will go to eat here and there. So if he say something about you, try to mention it in the thank you letter. Even the program director, if he say like I did before GI research, I did this publication or that, try to mention that and thank you for offering me or for telling me about your publication. I really read it after the interview and I find it is very interesting because one, two, three, four, you know. So try to mention what happened in the interview and also don't write a lot, like about 8 lines, 10 lines, 10 sentences. That is very enough.
Okay, so my question to you is, so say you're in the interview and you're talking to the program coordinator or the actual interviewer, do you just start scribbling, just start looking down, or are you supposed to tell your interviewer,
No, I
hey,
was
I'm going
memorizing.
to be writing?
No, I was memorizing these things.
Oh,
Like,
you were memorizing.
yeah, I was
Okay.
memorizing. Yeah, I
Wow.
was like, you know, yeah, like something very interesting. Also, I am opening like a Google Maps beside me, also like on the computer itself, so I can see. Okay, before even the interview, I know the restaurants. I know. I like you know, you have to study the program itself. Like during the interview itself, I mentioned in Icon Queens. Okay, I was saying okay, and the Queens there is 160 people language. This information present on Google. So I was saying okay because I like to learn other language because they told me like from where you know that there is a lot of language beside us. You know this is very common thing about Queens. I can say okay because there is Arab restaurants and I know about Arab restaurant called this or that, you know. So you can see during this interview something already real present and they already I know that I believe they know this restaurants present beside the program. See, so they know that you're just not an interview like someone wants to work. No, you someone want to live in this area.
Good, good. So for those of you guys who want to memorize the Dr. Al-Hawari, you can, but if you want to write it down like me, because I like to keep as little information as I need to memorize, I would tell my interviewers, may I take some notes? The only reason I bring this up is if you like start scribbling and looking down, as you saw my head go down, you guys have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And it just looks very rude in a professional setting.
yeah,
Even if you're doing something very innocent, it's just writing down notes.
yeah,
So
yeah. Don't worry. Don't
communicate,
try.
tell them what you're doing and you know you're good, and you don't have to memorize. If you can, wonderful. I'm actually surprised because I was like, no, I'm just gonna write it down.
Yeah, no, no. Sometimes you know some restaurants specific things you can memorize
Yeah,
like because you already know these areas before.
that's a really good point. All right, so some of the questions I have kind of stacked up, we've got about the same topic. It's more so about addressing low scores. So say if you did really well in step 2 and then your score went down to step you did well in step 1, score went down in step 2. How do you address low scores? Even if the interviewer straight up just asks, hey, your scores dropped. How do you recommend approaching that?
Okay, so first thing you can say to him, first, I got the interview. That means I'm good on paper. So now I can say because of something happened during the day, I was ill, I was sick. Easy to say, like I was sick and I didn't even focus. I didn't focus well in the exam, but I am good in the exams because I already have step 1 is very good, or I can say like, and I'm preparing for step 3, and I can do it well in the exams, and I can say to him like the exams not everything because a lot of high scores at the end of the day. Not I'm not saying about the match or something, but you can say like high scores, but they may be not good with treating patient well, don't treat patient well, and the reverse can happen. Try to be like, modest, try to be logic, and general, general words, don't make it personal, because if you try to defend yourself, they will say, okay, so this person become angry very, very easy or something. No, don't be very easy, okay, because score is not everything. There's research, there's other things that makes the person very good as a doctor, because you have clinical skills well. And sometimes not all people good in the exam taking strategies. You may know the information, but you can't remember it very well, or you are not doing the 40 questions in 1 hour. You find it is not a good time for this, or you can say, okay, during this day I was sick or something. So I mean, like, there's a lot of answers for this. Just try to be calm, try to answer him by logic, and I think they will acknowledge it, because he already sent you the interview. That means they want you.
That's a really good point. Sometimes what a lot of us start doing is we start defending ourselves or start presenting what might appear to be
Yeah.
excuses. So make sure you catch yourself. A mature response usually does not involve
Yes.
excuses. And a mature response focuses on, hey, yeah, I got a low score, but look at what I've done beyond that. And just like Dr. Al-Hawari mentioned, talk about the patient care aspect, because at the end of the day, everybody wants a resident who cares for the patients. That's the whole reason we're there. So kind of navigate them away from that
From
focus
this course,
is
like, tell them I can treat the patient very well. I worked already 4 years in Egypt, and all my patients say thank you to me or something. So, not everything about the scores at all. Even in the residency here, high scores and they don't do well, and the reverse, all can happen.
there you go. So try to navigate them more towards the positives. All right. So our other questions. What is the best time to schedule an interview if you like the program, early or late?
That is a good question. So for me, the good programs, I was scheduling them between 30 of November until 14 of December. Because at this time, that is in the middle. Because in the beginning, most of the program directors will ask you a lot of questions, will make you like, okay, they won't allow you to do a lot of things, because they know, okay, after that, a lot of applicants will come. He is not the best one, because I believe, in his mind, he believes that in December or in January, a lot of applicants will come, and they will be better than the ones that I have now in October. Also in January, they already got the recommendations. They already find a lot of people before you, and they already like a lot of people before you. So mostly you won't rank it high. So I think between 30th of November until 14th of December, in this time, most of the program directors, okay, we skip the previous ones because they wasn't good. So let's catch someone now, because the season will end soon. And in January, they already catch people in December. So I think I was scheduling most of my interviews in December. And in the second part of December, the Christmas holidays, so most of the programs don't do interviews. So try to make it in the first part of December. And
This is
also give
very
you.
strategically planned. I did not plan it
No,
this
no.
strategically, I'll be honest.
I understand this. And because, even in November, most of the interviewers, like, okay, also people will come. So he is maybe not the best one. So someone else will come. Usually you are curious to know who is coming after that. So try to schedule it in this time. I think this time, most of the programs that I like it, I put in this time. Before that, you have to do 1 or 2 interviews in November. So for practice. So if you got a program like you don't like to go there, okay, put it in the first, do practice with them, and the best interviews or the best programs that you like, put it in the middle. But also that is not 100% like, if you did this, you will match there or not, because some people match in the first interview, some others match in the last. But I mean, like, I'm talking in general, the best, even the programs that I matched in, I put them in December 16. So in this time, I like this time to be the best interviews.
Okay, actually, mine was December 1st. Program that I matched, and so there might be
Yeah,
some.
yeah, they wanted to catch people at the time, because they say if the time will pass, maybe you will forget about you. So they will want to catch you at the time.
With that being said, guys, I see a comment. Somebody's already scheduled themselves. Do not let anything affect your interview. Some programs can send interviews in February last year. And my friends, they did interview in February and then they matched in that program. That was the first program or the highest ranked program.
Yeah.
So if you've scheduled it, it is what it is. Work on other things. Don't try to reschedule. Also, don't ever skip an interview. If you have accepted it, it's professionalism to show up for it.
Yeah, sure.
Unless obviously you have like extenuating circumstances. All right. We've got more questions lined up for you, but I'm blown away by this strategy. My strategy was very different than this, but hey, I think it worked. I don't know if you did this, Dr. Elwari, but what I did is I grouped my interviews. So I would do 3 in a row. That way it just kept the pace going, and you would just practice. You know, you had the practice after that. Did you
Yeah.
group any of your interviews?
No, I was putting about 5 days between each interview because I was studying the program. I was okay, so I got this interview. I have to study everything about the program. Like every day, I was sitting, okay, so I will do interview with this person. So this person will take for me, like as a doctor, take for me about maybe about 4 or 5 hours to read everything what he did, publications, where he did residency, where he born, everything. So when you know the person that you will interview with, you can understand even before the interview what kind of things he like, so you can say, like one of the program directors, there is a quote he wrote a quote before. So I mentioned in the interview that I remember your quote that you said this, he liked me. So you said to him the quote that he likes. He wrote this in his personal statement, something like I find it in Google that this person said one day this quote. So I said to him, "You said this, and I like this quote a lot." So like
Wow.
something like you like this person, you like what he say.
Very impressive. Again, I did not do it this way. My thing was more like I had a template and I followed that template and I filled the same thing for each program. But that is very good advice.
Yeah.
You should know as much as possible, especially like you said with the restaurants. Anytime you tell the program, I've researched this area, they immediately see that, okay, this person can see themselves here long term.
Yeah.
And they're committing themselves to this area. So that is very good advice. All right. The next question we have is a gap, a clinical gap of 1 year, will that affect the interviews, essentially? So a clinical gap of 1 year, would that affect how many interviews you get?
So my advice from the start, not to do any clinical gap. Like even during writing your CV, try to fill everything by like I was doing rotation here, I was doing in private practice. No one will search for you. Like no one have time even to search like when you did this private practice. Okay, I was working here in private practice in my home country. But the issue here, if you come to US and you are like say, let's say he is staying here in US for 4 years, for sure he don't work in medicine for years because he has not have license for this. So at this point, you have to be honest. Okay, there is a clinical gap. No clinical gap because I can say, okay, I was every week I was going to do rotation here and there. You can fill this by like observership. I was going to observe some doctors. I was going to work as a physician assistant or not to work as a physician, just observer. I am living in Michigan and I know some doctors. I was going there to observe, just observe because try to be like to shadow this doctor. So you can fill the clinical gap. But my advice, the clinical gap during the interview, try to fill it by something medical. Don't say, okay, I was working in Uber because I am coming to US as a migrant and I don't have money to live, so I was working in Uber. So you are like making yourself out of the image. No, yeah, is the work not a shame? No, everyone work here, but I mean like you can say, but don't mention it. Just mention the things that related to medicine. You can say, okay, so during my free time, I was working. I was going to shadow this doctor to learn more about this and that. So that is my answer always. If you have clinical gap, although I didn't have clinical gap, but I mean like if I have, I recommend you to see that.
Okay, thank you for that. Sorry, I just had to turn on the light in my room. It's getting a little dark around here. Okay.
Okay.
So, and along the same lines as Dr. Al-Hawari said, if you are going to say information like that, just make sure it's genuine. One lie, just takes one lie to ruin your entire application, because then nobody else is going to believe anything else you say. And in fact, now with the new application, they don't even have to have the timeline like we did. They can pick and choose which experiences they want to share. So they only have 10 experiences. So someone can argue, well, I don't have enough space to talk about all of my gaps. So
Yeah.
technically, no one will really know
And
about your
also
gap.
regarding the lies, also I would like to say, one of my interviews, they asked me about my hobbies. I know my hobbies, but he asked me, tell me hobby that you didn't mention in your CV. So this question was new to me, like what hobby is that I don't mention in my CV. So I tried to think something not present in my CV. So I told him, okay, I like fishing. That is not my hobby.
Okay.
So he told me, okay. So I like. He told me, okay, I am fishing also. Tell me what kind or of fish you are taking. So also the new question to me. I told him, okay, I'm taking salmon. He told me like from where? I told him from the Red Sea. He told me like, but salmon not present in the Red Sea. So that is a lie. Okay, I know myself. Okay, I'm out of this interview. Like I did bad in this interview, but I mean like I did lie because I don't know what a hobby that I don't mention in my CV. So I mean like if you say hobby, try to say something you know. Don't do my mistake. Don't say something you didn't do because mostly maybe this hobby he know a lot about it, and if he know a lot about it he will ask you a lot and a lot and a lot in this. So if you are lying, everything will appear. I didn't even recognize that he will ask me in detail about this. I thought, okay, I'll say anything so I can skip this question, but my bad luck that he already liked this hobby, so it was like a difficult situation for me.
There you go. So even though you, I'm sure, had an amazing CV, that one question, simple as that. What are your hobbies that are not on your CV?
Yeah.
So did you actually read your CV before interviews? Did you have a copy next to you? Was that helpful?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, because my CV I wrote it by myself, so I remember everything. I know what present and what not present. So I know I have 5 hobbies in my CV and I know them well. But the thing is, he told me, tell me hobby not present in your CV. So
Yeah.
if it is hobby, I should write it. But the thing is, that is a question, and I have to answer this. So I can't say to him, I don't have hobby not present in my CV. I have to see something. And when I started to say, he already knew about this hobby, so yeah, it was difficult.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm going to differ with you on this one. I had not memorized everything. Of course, I wrote my CV myself, but it was just very difficult to remember everything that I've done. So I would actually split my screen. So half of my screen would be the interviewer, and the other half would be my CV. And sometimes I had an iPad that was, if you see my hand, it would sit right here in my eye field. And I would just keep my iPad right there and my CV on there. And if somebody asked me something, I could scroll down. I got asked about one of my research work once, and I was like, okay, think, what did I do? In that moment, you're flustered, you kind of forget things. So for some of you guys, it might actually help to have a digital copy or paper, and at least read it before your interview, at least if it's your first one. You'll be surprised how many things you forget from the time that you applied. And someone is asking this the second time. Did you send a letter of interest to MSH?
To a message, what is a message?
I'm not sure what program. If you could please, I
Mount
got the
Sinai,
name.
Mount Sinai Hospital, he means?
Probably Mount Sinai.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's a good phrase.
Yeah, I sent a letter of interest to all like I applied to 200 or 198. I sent all the letter of
Everything.
interest. Yeah, I sent to all.
And they're asking, when is the best time to send a letter of interest?
What is the question again?
What is the best time
The
to send
best
a letter
time.
of interest?
So I sent in August, like I will apply to your program and these things. And after that, I sent in October, and I sent in December. So three
Okay.
times is enough. Like at the beginning, before applying, some programs already considered me before even apply. Like they read my CV and told me like, okay, this is very good CV, and we will consider you if you applied through ERAS. So after applying to ERAS in October, I'm saying, okay, I applied to. You said to me apply, and I applied. Where is the interview? Okay, so that is the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I can say like I got interviews through this way.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very valid question. I've paid my fees, I've done my work, where's my interview? Okay. So our next question is, when the PD asks you if you have any questions, can we ask about their milestones in life and their educational background?
Uh,
Or
you
should
can,
we relate
you
it to
can,
the program?
you can. Like sometimes I was asking the program directors, like one of the program directors did fellowship in England, and after that returned to America to work as internist. So I asked her, I read about you that you did infectious disease or fellowship in England and you returned back to US. Can you tell me what is the difference between medicine in England and in the US? So at this point, okay, so she knows that there's new question to her. No one asked her about this. So I thought she told me, okay, because my husband was in England and I wanted to go to my he did fellowship there, so I wanted to then I returned back to practice medicine in US. Whatever, like a personal thing. Just if you ask a personal, try to ask about academic question. And the question was not about like why you went there or that, because that is your personal choice. I can't ask this. Just I asked it. You went to England, and England, I know that England medicine already is good, and then US is good. So tell me just what is the differences, what you feel differences between here and there. So even it is a knowledge for me, I can learn from this question. So I mean, because they ask you like you are in Egypt, why you are coming to US? They want to know what is the difference between here and there. Okay, so I can say also the same question to them if they are did something outside of US or something. Also, like if the program director like was living in Connecticut and now he is living in New York, so I can tell me like what is the difference between living there and here. How you see New York in comparison to Connecticut. You know, he will know that you know well about him. He will know that you know that he was living there, but after that he comes there, the other place. So he can answer you honestly because some of even the interviews he did residency in well, state that present in outside of America. It is outside beside Canada. I don't remember the state. It is. Okay, sit in the north of America. So I told him like why you went there. So he told me like okay, that is ice there, and I like to live there and what he enjoys there. So I mean like try to know where he went, and you can ask him about the area.
Okay, that's a really good point. So just a reminder for everybody and for our colleagues joining us, we have about 10 minutes left in the session. So we're going to try to get Dr. Al-Hawari to answer as many of these as possible. This is a recorded session, so as soon as we're done, the recording will be posted on the Instagram, right, the regular post. So we've got a few lined up. We're going to try our best to go through those. This is actually a unique one. It says, is having an accent, or could having an accent influence your interview performance?
We all have accent. That is try to accept that. Even I'm here in New York. I'm dealing with people Spanish. I'm dealing with people from Bangladesh, from India, from all over the world. So the main thing, try to make them understand you as you understanding me now. Okay, you understand me now, so that is more than enough. Because speaking English or speaking second language like English, that means you know another language. So try to make sure that you are better even than the interviewer because you know two language, he know only one. So that means you are good.
That's a very good point. Just use it, highlight your strengths.
Yeah.
So if you're multilingual, like you said earlier, you can bring more to the program. You're gonna be able to provide care to a
To other
wide
people that yeah,
population.
you don't need interpreter.
Exactly. Um, okay. So this one kind of goes back. This one kind of goes back to previously asked question that said, what do you do if you don't have an answer for a question? If you're kind of stuck or if you don't have that extra hobby that they ask about, what do you do?
I try to guide him or to something I know, like try to escape, but try to mention something. Like let's say he asks you about something you don't want to tell about. Okay, so I'll try to talk, but I'll talk in subject that not the answer for the question. He may know that you are not answering him, but at the same time he may like not focus with you, so you can skip from this point to another point. I mean, like the interview, not everyone will do 100% correct in the interview. Some interviews you won't do well. And for me, even like if I got 8 interviews, maybe 2 or 3 of them, I didn't do well. That is normal, totally normal, that you don't do well in some interviews. And some questions may be hard, and the interviewer knows that this question is hard, and he will also rank you higher. Not about the question. He knows that the question is hard. Because if the question is hard, that means he asked this question to other applicants, and the other applicants also don't answer this question. That means you are normal in comparison to others, because you shouldn't be the best one of people. At least I'm saying you should be the same as others.
Okay, that's a really good point. So we'll take the last question and then we'll probably wrap it up for tonight. Um, if you send a letter of interest to programs where you have not signaled, does it look fishy?
No, because I only have 7 signals. So logically, I can't signal the 200 programs. And if I have the ability to signal the 200 programs, I'll do that. But I don't. That is not in my hand.
Okay. It is what it is. I guess you're right. You can. And I think this year they had a little bit more. They were able to signal even more programs this year. So
Yeah,
maybe signal.
I don't know how many this year. 7 also, or
I can't remember. I think it's at least 7. If somebody in the audience knows, please let us know. We're kind of out of loop a little bit about the signals. Um, but all right, that was our last question of the evening. 7. So okay, I thought I seen that number. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Alwari, for your time. And I know you were working today, so it means a lot that you came out and you shared all these tips. Before we let you go for the final thing of the night, any last minute advice or tips that you have?
my advice: try to smile during the interview. Try to bring a lot of questions to the during the interview, because for me, I was bringing at least 7 questions to each one. Yeah, you can't ask the 7 questions, but at least you have to bring very smart questions. And because if you ask smart questions, that means you are very good, you are interested in them. All people will answer the questions about tell me about yourself, strengths, weakness, all of these things. All people will answer this, but your question to the person depend. Like if it is a smart question, that means you are a very good person.
All right. I think there's a little bit of glimpse there, but thank you so much for your advice. And again, I'll just reiterate everybody who's listening, Dr. Al-Hawari has a lot of experience in this, and he's done research at Mayo Clinic. He's currently a resident in Mount Sinai in New York. So go back and re-listen to this recording. And I will probably bug him to have another session later. We'll coordinate another one for you guys. And I hope everybody who's listening, this was also helpful for you guys.
Thank you so much.
With that, frankly, thank you so much for taking time out, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Take
day.
care. Everybody else, good night.